Haina mai kapua na la, ko kakali na lailahi. Haina ho kapua na la, he aloha mauia oe. Haina mo. Haina mai kapua na la, ko kakali na lailahi. Haina ho kapua na la, he aloha mauia oe.
All right, welcome to this week's Drink of Ages radio show here on ESPN 97.5. I am John Denman, Tom Painter, co-host, and we got a very special show this week because we're hanging out here in Maui.
Yeah, indeed.
Took the quick little flight over here to hang out.
John, a few days ago we were at our home at House of Blues, having a great show. And this is really the dream come to fruition. The whole idea was we spend too much time together anyways and traveling around visiting breweries. So now everything it's coming full circle. We came to Maui right before COVID hit, and now coming out the other end of it, we're back.
We're back. Yes.
Just a short, 7.5-hour flight, something like that.
It wasn't bad. It wasn't bad at all. So we're hanging out with Garrett Marrero, who is the owner and co-founder.
Yeah, I go by CEO, founder.
CEO.
I don't know, I was sweeping cobwebs earlier, so whatever.
Whatever needs to happen.
You know how it is,
right?
yeah.
Over here at Maui Brewing Company. I got to tell you, man, of all places to put a brewery, I'm really surprised you put it here.
Yeah.
You know, it's just, I don't know.
It's hard to look at, not a lot of,
Yeah, I mean, so much sunshine and blue skies and water and.
Sure. I think at my age now, maybe I would have rethought where I put it, but when I was younger, it was definitely beer in Maui.
You kidding me?
So
even right now, it's like, no, this place is paradise.
Yeah, it is.
It's a destination.
It totally is. I only say that because, you say sunshine, and I think chillers cost more to run, right? So it's it's just one of those. You know how it goes. You go back to the brewer mind.
And you probably only decided to put a brewery in one of the most expensive places in the world too. So it comes with that as well. But as long as it's working, and it seems to be working really well because you guys have grown just tremendously in the last. I don't know what
16
years
now.
16
16 years now. Yeah. To give you an idea, the tanks you saw in the garden walking up, those were the biggest tanks we owned in 2007, and I made them into garden fixtures. So by comparison, we can fit our entire first year's production in just one of those tanks over there now. And we have 18 of them sitting out there.
It's a destination brewery at one of the world's top destinations. So there you go. And also we're surrounded by solar panels everywhere.
Yeah.
Jason, who's running our video, demanded we ask you about how this is all running.
Sure. Yeah. You bet. I mean, we have one of our foundational principles, of course, is sustainability and trying, especially in an island state, to do more with less. And part of that includes, reducing our energy consumption and then making up as much as we can from sustainable or green energy production. So almost 1.2 megawatts of solar, 3.5 megawatt hours of batteries, dual 300 kW biodiesel generators, solar thermal, and then I was filming earlier for Solar Coaster, and that's that PVT technology, which is photovoltaic thermal, which provides both hot and cold water, all from the sun.
That is crazy. So you're pulling that water, and that's what you're making the beers with?
Yeah, so we use it to heat water, and we use it to cool water, because you can make very cold water from very hot thermal load through an absorption chiller. But yeah, everything's used, of course, for brewing, for distilling, for seltzer production, coffee, and as well as for cleaning, of course. So.
See, John, it's possible.
It is possible.
Definitely possible. It's not cheap, but it's possible.
Yeah. Well, money solves a lot of problems.
It does.
People always say money causes, but no, money actually fixes a lot of things.
Sure. Well, at the same time, it's like we're either going to spend the money in paying a utility company, or we're going to invest the money into, sustainable production, right? Something that long term really benefits us financially.
So you're off the grid.
We're grid tied, but we like to think of ourselves as grid independent, right?
Okay.
So we can run without the grid, but we try to minimize what we pull from it. So we are tied also too. If there was an emergency here where, we've been known to have hurricanes. So if it knocked out the grid, we can actually supply the local grid from our system.
Wow.
So we can be a resource.
Yeah,
wow.
In case of the apocalypse or when the zombies really do attack.
I'm with you.
Yeah, just hang out here at the brewery. I mean, you're isolated on an island.
Yeah.
So as long as nothing really bad happens
Well,
here,
if we're
we'll always
isolated,
have beer.
if we're isolated back in Texas, we'll just have like a map of like, hold on, the world's going to hell, but I know Maui Brewing
Yeah.
still like
Yes.
going. So
Totally.
we just need to make
There
it.
is hope.
There's hope out there.
Yeah. Flying's not that hard. It's the landing that, really you got to make sure
That's
you
the
nail.
hard part. As long as, over water, just jump.
I did
Yeah,
think we
swim.
were going to get a chance to test out the whole zombie apocalypse theory when you first started hearing about COVID and how horrible it was.
I've seen it in many movies.
I thought 13 months ago now, I really thought we were going to be like, we're going to have to board up the windows and, but we didn't, thank God.
Well, I mean, other than the big rate on toilet paper, I mean, there was just, it was hard on businesses for sure, but I mean, at least things are opening back up. In Texas, anyways, here, mask mandates still in effect in a lot of places, things like that, but businesses are open, bars are open.
Yep. Yeah, pretty much everything's back to normal, aside from the restrictions on masks and social distancing and all those types of things. So we're pretty open. Oddly, we are constantly under threat of more restrictions being added. So it's a weird dynamic between CDC and Maui and Hawaii in general. It's just it's odd. I think we just need to be moving forward though, because I think we're over 50% vaccinated at this point, and just it's time to go forward.
At the Texas, 2 months ago, the governor he lifted the restrictions. He was he's like, we're tired of this tyranny.
Yeah.
It was like, but you put on these rules to begin with. Don't worry about that.
Yeah, don't worry about
We're
that.
the ones that shut everything down.
Yeah.
But it was very hard, and I mean, John and I both are on the brewery side, different breweries, but same city. But much like you have this great tap room, you have bars you distribute to, and all of a sudden all those things stop.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, it's like you built up this empire. Now the empire is like, what's the point if there's no people? And
Sure, and we have such a deep market here in Hawaii where roughly 80% of our sales is Hawaii between all liquid, and we export, again, about the remaining 20%, which works out to call it 40,000 barrels sold here, 20,000 barrels sold in the mainland and abroad. So when Hawaii shut down and didn't have the tourism, we're like, whoa, what do we do? Because that's a majority of our sales is our deep home market. So we definitely had brewers and cellar guys and packaging that were, picking weeds and painting the building and
Doing
that
something.
kind of stuff. Because we were like, we'll keep them employed, but we don't need to brew beer.
It was a good time for projects. If you needed improvements around the brewery or just need some paint or whatever, it's like, hey guys, we got some
Time to paint the brewery.
Well, because it's the unknown. There is no still even to this day. I mean, it seems like for you guys, there is no calendar. This ends right here, so you're operating a shroud.
Yeah, absolutely.
But it seems like you guys have made it through.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, May 2019, we did about 5,100 barrels of beer, I think, sold. This month on order, 7,300 barrels. So without a doubt, this will be our biggest month in the history of the company.
Yeah.
Which is crazy to think because we're still here. Again, vast majority of our beer sold locally. We are still not at 100% seating capacity in restaurants. We just got 50% here on Maui. So it's odd. I'm like, where's the beer going? People just have people drinking more, I guess.
People got those drinking muscles going during all the quarantine.
The last year,
now they
people
can't stop.
Sure.
Yeah, the amateurs even stepped up last year.
Yeah.
And then becoming much better professional drinkers.
Sure. Yeah, it's not a bad theory. But we also see a lot of local support too. That we've always been well supported locally, but I think because of COVID, much like in any community around the world, they're really trying to support the local businesses even more.
Absolutely.
And so the hotels have really come in strong. A lot of the retailers as well, just saying, look, we want to support Maui Brewing because it's an authentic local Hawaiian craft brewery. That was the whole principle behind us starting 16 years ago. So, yeah, it's good to see.
Yeah. Well, and you guys are more than just beer.
Yes.
Looking at the table.
Yeah, I know. I grabbed, it was almost 2 cases, and all I grabbed was 2 cans of most things. I mean, I would have had to wheel out a cart if I got everything we make. But, yeah.
I'm really interested to try. Right now I'm drinking the Red Ale.
Yeah, Waimea Red.
Yes.
So Waimea Red's, this is, I think, 3rd or 4th time we've brewed it. So we brought it back because we have a pretty high demand for it from a draft perspective locally. But it is actually going to be our Q4 limited release. So we'll have that available in all our markets, including Texas,
Right
in the 4th quarter this year. So, yeah.
That's really good.
Yeah, it's a nice beer.
And
yeah.
I think it was it 6.8%?
Yep.
Something like that?
Yep, right along the side of Big Swell IPA. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fun beer.
This hazy right here is delicious.
Yeah, the Pono Life.
Yeah.
That's what I'm drinking as well.
Yeah.
So
And-
Pono Life is a collaboration. We did that with our friends at Roadhouse Brewing Company
Okay.
in Jackson, Wyoming. So Colby and Gavin and their team was out here.
I'm going to Jackson later this month.
Are you?
Or at the very beginning of June. So,
Are you?
so I'm going to stop in.
Nice. Yeah, you should. I'm going to be there next week, actually.
Oh, wow.
But yeah, Jackson's a beautiful place, and Colby and I and
Let me
Gavin,
see if I can move that fishing
Yeah,
trip.
I know, right? We became friends years ago, and we did Pono Life last year, but it kind of was like a want moment because COVID hit when we had just canned all this beer, and so both of us were sitting on beer. We're like, what do we do with
What do
this
we
now?
do with it?
So fortunately, we were able to sell it, but it wasn't like you couldn't promote. You couldn't
There's
go out
just
and have
no,
the pint
no
night.
big launch.
There was no
of it,
launch. It
yeah.
just fell flat. It felt like, and so we felt that we weren't going to let COVID get the better of us. And we're both fighters, and we decided that we'd redo Pono Life. And so we just had their head brewer out here in April, and then their team, the rest of the team, came out last week actually and did the launch party here. So it was pretty cool.
That's pretty awesome.
I'm sure it was great for them.
Yeah.
You're Wyoming. It's
Yeah.
like,
I mean,
Wyoming's
don't
a
get me
beautiful
wrong.
place,
It is a
yeah.
beautiful place.
I've been there
you-
every month this year so far.
Have you really?
Yeah.
Oh.
So yeah, truth be told, I'm actually now a resident of Wyoming.
Yeah?
So, yeah.
It's
We can
not
talk
a bad
about that
place.
later.
Yeah, it is not a bad. We
No.
didn't spend as much time as I hoped for. Did hop selection, not last year because we weren't able to, but
Sure.
the year before, and did the whole Olympic National
Yeah.
camping out and everything. Then did hop selection. Then we went and to Yellowstone, camped
Yeah.
out through Yellowstone, but really want to spend some time at the Tetons.
Yeah.
And
Tetons
just
are
kind of
beautiful.
drove through them. It's like, all right, we got to come back.
Yeah.
Got to come back and spend some time.
I'm doing that in June, so I'm going to spend 2 weeks in an RV camping throughout Yellowstone and just to see the state. So really excited about that.
it's a beautiful, untouched kind of part
Yes.
of America. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, so Pono Life is a hazy IPA brewed with lilikoi. So
Okay.
lilikoi is the Hawaiian name for passion fruit, is what you would know it as. But it's a tart, sweet fruit, and the amount of lilikoi juice that went into this was impressive. And when you look at a lilikoi, it's tiny. Like
The
the size
amount of
an egg.
lilikoi that went into this is impressive.
Dude, it's cutting them open, and it's not fun. But fortunately, we have a source for the juice. But really, just a fruit-forward lilikoi tart hazy IPA.
Yeah.
So 6 point, I want to say it was 6.5, something like that. Really tasty beverage.
It's
though.
the perfect ABV for a hazy.
Yeah.
Looks the part.
Yep.
Smells the part. Tastes
Yeah, you can
delicious.
almost tell it's the Pono from across the room. So.
Man, I kind of.
believe you did.
Yeah, I did.
This red ale is delicious, but now I want one of those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure we can wrestle one up for you.
Well, let's take a break. And we actually have our music guest is someone that works for you.
Yeah, Kekai.
And
Yeah.
Kekai, he does tours and what else?
Bartending, anything it takes. I mean, he's
Yeah.
been with us for a while now, and even and through COVID, it was great to have him back. And because the restaurants, of course, were closed down largely, but it's definitely we had a great team before, and I think COVID even culled that a little bit. And we're happy to have him, a lot more of our Ohana, as we say, our Team NBC back in action.
Definitely.
So, yeah.
All right, let's take a break, and when we get back, we'll talk more with Maui Brewing Company, Garrett Marrero. This is Drink of Ages.
Look forward to it. Aloha.
Aloha, my name is Kekai Olahia. We're here at Maui Brewing Company here in beautiful island of Maui in Kihei. I'm playing a little bit of music for you. Cause I remember days when we were younger. We used to catch opu in the mountain streams. Around the Kolau hills we'd ride on horseback. So long ago, it seems it was a dream. Last night I dreamt I was returning, and my heart called out to you. But I fear you won't be like I left you. Me ke aloha ku home o ka halu. I remember days when we were wiser, when our world was small enough for dreams, and you had lingered there, my sister, and I no longer can, it seem. Last night I dreamt I was returning, and my heart called out to you. But I fear you won't be like I left you. Me ke aloha ku home o ka halu. Change is a strange thing, it cannot be denied. It can help you find yourself, make you lose your pride. Move with it slowly as on the road we go. Please do not hold on to me, we all must go alone. I remember days when we were smiling, when we laughed and sang the whole night long. And I will greet you as I find you, with the sharing of a brand new song. Last night I dreamt I was returning, and my heart called out to you. Please accept me as you will find me. Me ke aloha ku home o ka halu. Me ke aloha ku home o Maui Brewing. Me ke aloha ku home o ka halu.
Hey, this is Shane with New Magnolia Brewing Company. We're a family-owned and operated brewery located at 1616 Bettis Street in the historic Houston Heights. Neighborhood brew pub serving up a high-rotation, high-variety of finely crafted beers, everything from an award-winning American Light Lager, IPA, funky sours, and European classics like our award-winning Father Bernard's Grodzinski, a 400-year-old Polish smoked wheat ale. Join us this Saturday, May 8th, from 12 to 7 for Crawfish. We're also open Sunday from 12 to 7 for Mother's Day, so bring her on in and make her feel special. Ready to join the New Magnolia Bike and Run Club? Both launch weekly from the brewery. Check Instagram and Facebook for details. Taproom open 7 days a week, plenty of parking, 2 very expansive outdoor seating areas, spacious, Indoor, tap room, family, and dog friendly. Cheers. We hope to see you soon.
Weekends are a great time to check out Megaton Brewing in Kingwood. Jared, Chris, and the gang have created a badass place to kick back and enjoy a few beers. Big stouts, approachable sours, and plenty of hoppy brews are on tap at Megaton. Lots of space to hold your birthday party, corporate outing, or any event in one of the most unique tap rooms in the Houston area. Check them out on social media for their concert and event schedule. Megaton Brewery. Hope to see everyone at the vault. Key T Wellness, our friends down in Dickinson, is where you need to go if you're feeling sluggish, non-energetic, and non-motivated, not just when you're hungover. Get to know your numbers. As we get a little older, our hormone levels change, men and women. Key T Wellness can help. Weight loss, hormone optimization, low testosterone, B12, Botox, and more. Stop in and tell them that you heard it on Drink of Ages and get a free B12 shot. KeyTWellness.com. Why not feel your best again? KeyTWellness.com. Enjoying tonight's show? Have a vision you need to make a reality? Reach out to Hell and High Water Productions. I did. Jason and the crew produce each Drink of Ages YouTube show. Corporate events, concerts, commercials, live streams, they have the skill and technology to make it happen. Come Hell and High Water, they are here to serve you. Give them a call at 832-356-9701. Special announcement from Platypus Brewery. F off, mate. The latest taproom release is an American Hefeweizen that is chalky in appearance, generously dry hopped, imparting citrus and stone fruit flavors in a light and refreshing beer. Very easy on the palate. Also hitting the taproom at Platypus is Rough End of the Pineapple, a pineapple jalapeno sour. It sounds crazy, but it works very well, especially when you pair it with the chicken wings. Food specials all week long, including Chicken Parmy Tuesdays, Surf and Turf Wednesdays, Texas Barbecue Thursdays, and Fish and Chips Fridays. PlatypusBrewing.com, open Tuesdays through Sunday. Have an event in mind and looking for a place that is fun and beer is involved? Host your next event at a brewery. At Spindletap, they have full venue rental and partial rental options that are perfect for company events, birthday parties, weddings, receptions, and more. Host a memorable event at a venue that offers a fun atmosphere and many amenities. Email info@spindletap.com or call 713-325-1477 to get more details. All right, this is Drink of Ages radio show here on ESPN. We are back hanging out at Maui Brewing Company. Garrett Marrero is our guest, and Tom Painter co-host. I'm John Denman, and man, we actually we're listening to some your
Kekai, our musician. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, he's beautiful.
Listen to our music guest this week, Kekai.
John, the gods of the island and the beers are starting to get to you.
Yeah.
Well, one thing that I would like to say about this show is we got here, normally we show up an hour or so early before, things, but since we're going to be at Maui Brewing Company, it's like we need to get there a few hours early, guys, to make sure that we're really set up properly, and make sure that the show goes well.
And the setup process was awful because everywhere Jason was like, well, this looks good, and turn around, well, this looks good too.
This would be a great
and
place.
turn around, this is a good view. Everywhere you go is like, it's the perfect setup. Minus this wall, he was like, we can't.
Yeah.
The wall can't be a backdrop.
Yeah, we're blessed with beautiful views, especially when you have this in the background. You don't want to look at a building.
No.
So, yeah, normally when we're in full operation, this is a tasting room side, and so we'll bring it into play nowadays only when it's like raining till full COVID restrictions are lifted. But that whole wall lifts up out. It's a bifold wall, so it just really becomes like an indoor-outdoor space.
Oh,
and
fantastic.
A lot of flow here.
This is where we had our pints 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Yes.
Cool.
And
It was right before the restaurant was open then. Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah.
It was May 3 years ago, 3 summers ago.
Okay.
That we were here.
Yeah.
And as the good thing about this is you get my beard blowing in the wind.
Yeah.
But
The wind came out of nowhere. It's nice.
it does feel good.
Yeah.
But yeah, we came out here and stopped by, but we did a show from Kohola.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And that was fun, and that's where you guys started.
Yeah, that was actually our second facility. So we started up in Kahana, which is still in operation today. That's our original restaurant, brewery, brew pub, and then we built where Kohola is as our first production facility. And we started canning there. We were constructed in 2006. We started canning in early 2007, and then shifted over here in 2014-ish, something like that, and then several years later opened the restaurant portion. So.
That is a gigantic leap from that size to this size?
Sure.
The facilities seem exactly the same, John. We were over there, many years back, and we had a tremendous blast with like Christine over there, and then we came over here the next day, and like walking up to it was just kind of like, I was like, it's like, what's about to happen?
Well, it's inspirational, I think, because you go from where we helped give birth to a new brewery as we stepped up into this, right? And so it was just kind of that growth trajectory that we had.
Well, they're the ones that told us. They were like, Maui Brewing was here before.
Yeah.
This was here. And it was like, they're next on the list anyway, so now even more so. And then sure as hell.
Yeah, well, it was great. That plant when we had it, I think they have about 5,300 feet, and that was the same what we started with there. But by the time we left there, we were at 22,000 square feet. So it was a lot of area that you didn't even see when you were at Kohola was also ours. It was all the units next door and then across the way in the other building. So we had a lot of space in kind of fragmented. If you'd ever been to Adam's place, Avery Brewing in Boulder, before they moved to their beautiful facility, they were kind of fragmented in all these different units.
Warehouses back there.
That's kind of like what we were for a while. And so we went from 22,000 square feet to about 35,000 square feet for production. The whole building here originally was about 42,000 square feet that we built, but that was added the tasting room, the restaurant area, and offices. So production space went from practically nothing to a big amount, and then we doubled the size of the building in 2017 when we added the restaurant. We started construction on the back half of the building and added another 40,000 square feet. So,
it is definitely a magnificent place.
Yeah, thank you. Well, labor intensive and capital intensive, like we said, to make beer.
But at the same time, as you're pulling up, you don't realize what exactly is here because it does blend into the environment pretty well.
Yeah. Well, part of it too here, we wanted to take design and some architectural examples of early Hawaiian architecture and bring that into a modern building. So we have the very low eaves, the kind of longer structures. Really just try to be good neighbors. You can't just throw up a metal-sided warehouse next to some of the buildings in this area and expect to be accepted.
Just be everybo's happy about it.
The design guidelines would not have allowed for that. Put it that way. So
it's this beer is really good, guys. By the way.
Yes, it's fantastic.
Yeah.
Welcome to the party, John.
Yeah, Lilikoi IPA.
I'm catching up.
I'm about to switch over to this new one you just put on the table. You're already halfway through it.
Well, I poured a sample out for John.
Okay, all right.
But it is good, so I'm sucking it up for sure. So.
And you said this one is a smash beer.
Yes, so that's the one brewed for the Stash Strong campaign. So it's Mustache Rodeo. It's a single malt, single hop. So it's a dry hopped India Pale Lager, IPL essentially, and it's with El Dorado. And so it was brewed for a brain cancer awareness fundraiser that some of our brewers with their like I said, exquisite mustaches
nice
decided
mustaches.
to participate in. So we like to support the community and causes like that. If we can do good in the world with beer, then that's a win-win. So
it's kind of half the fun, right? Like I found the strangest part about being involved in craft beer is all of a sudden you're almost taking on a community.
Yeah.
Like a little bit like it's like
not many industries have that, right?
Sure.
Not many industries. You can't put up like, hey, we're going to open a bunch of sandwich shops and be really involved in the community.
Yeah.
It just doesn't.
Sure.
Ice cream shops maybe.
Yeah.
But it doesn't really work that way. Whereas breweries, it's just part of it. I know in Houston, there's breweries that were there was a cold snap that hit Texas about 2 months back, and then a lot of breweries turning their RO system was in because people couldn't get good water, right?
Yeah.
So, and then I know for us during COVID, we had ordered a whole bunch of branded masks for whatever, and then at some point, when we got them in, I was like, we can't sell these. We're not a mask company. It was like, come in, buy beer, take a mask.
Exactly.
The first responders come in, get a mask.
Yeah.
They would come in and be like, with a whole SWAT team and all, and they would come in like, you guys need some traffic assistance, when no one else is. Wild times.
Sure.
And then when hurricanes hit, we operate on a John, geez, how big is our yard?
It's big.
Yeah.
How many acres?
Well, it's like in that main space. I mean, it's during like whenever there's hurricane
I
stuff.
literally can't tell if you're joking that it's big
No,
or that
no,
it's
it-
small.
no.
Like his way he said is like, oh,
How many acres?
No, it's like 1,500 people there on a Saturday.
oh,
like filling the
Jesus,
space.
yeah,
They,
wow, it's a big space.
It's a big space, but it's a giant open. It's like an old rice silo, like kind of rail yard type
Okay,
of thing. So
cool.
when the hurricanes hit and stuff like that,
Yeah.
the National Guard will like
Set up
the
camp.
past 2 times will be like, hey, can we use your place as a helipad?
Oh, wow.
So we have these giant helicopters dropping off tech.
That's
and,
awesome.
and it's like, yeah, you feel like you're involved in the community because
Yeah.
all of a sudden you become like ground zero and like. But yeah, it's weird that breweries do this when Hurricane Heart and on. So while we were shooting off helipad stuff, like Spindle Tap, a brewery that John like is a part of, they operate on with a trucking logistics company. It's like the main owner, and so all of a sudden they have like J.J. Watt Foundation, and they're doing all these like basically get up and go orders like from these 18 wheelers. like
Yeah,
out.
we became the hub for all the donations for the J.J. Watt Foundation.
Oh, wow. Yeah, well, community involvement is so important, but like, we often think like, oh, you're part of the community and you're always doing these things to support. But I think during COVID and even now we're starting to see that it's not just us supporting the community, it's now the community really has come out in support of us. We had an incident over the summer with liquor control here where we were giving away sanitizer. Because we have the distillery here, so we're making sanitizer and we were giving it away with purchase of anything. Right, and so Maui Brewing, people think, oh, it's all beer. Well, we'll have a full restaurant, so we were doing to-go orders.
Sure.
And so you could come get fish and chips or pizza or whatever, a coaster, a T-shirt, a 6-pack of soda, coffee even, and get free sanitizer. And we never held to that. We were like, you just get sanitizer for asking for it.
Sure, well, yeah.
Because people needed it. It
Yeah.
was a pandemic, and we even had the front door locked, and you had to come in through here and then go out that way. It was really just, the early days of COVID. We all mentally blocked most of it, I'm sure.
Well, listen, I mean, at some point, someone is going to need seltzer, beer,
Yeah.
coffee, like
All of the above. And food.
Where's the gin and tonic?
I gotta
That's
say,
right there.
what do you not make or sell? That's what we need.
Shitty beer.
It's a really good answer.
But I think what I was saying about liquor though is like they came down on us. They said that we were they cited us for inducement, which is forcing people to buy alcohol in order to get a free good. And I was like, no, they can buy anything they want and they get sanitizer. Yeah. And I always like to say that they picked the wrong fight at the wrong time. So sanitizer in a pandemic.
Well, it
and
sounds
I'm
like
probably
they're
one of the
just
most
picking a fight to
vocal
pick a fight.
anti-liquor people. So I was the wrong guy.
Yeah.
And it got national news, and the community came out in support. They were leaving messages on our phone. They're like, I don't drink alcohol, but I want to buy booze from you because liquor is stupid. Like they call it liquor LC here. They're like, LC is ridiculous. We want to buy alcohol just to support you. So thank you to Liquor Control because they sold a ton of alcohol that we wouldn't otherwise sold. And we got national media out of it.
Yep.
It was unbelievable.
You can't beat that.
I was like, thank you. So anyhow,
Back home.
so the community supports us too, and it's important to not forget that.
Yeah, I mean, community is it's kind of the thing.
Well, yeah, especially when COVID started, and things were being shut down. People lined up at the breweries just to buy beer to go.
Yeah.
And it became once again hyper-focused, like hyper-local focus, and where it started getting away. It goes through waves. That whole, I don't know if it does here, but like for us, it kind of goes in waves. People get like really focused on local stuff, and then it's like, we kind of forget. Try other things because there's good stuff out there.
Yeah.
And then it was really nice to see all the people really going to support the local businesses.
Yeah, absolutely.
And,
I think visiting here, we don't see, when we have visitors from the mainland especially, we don't see as much support for beers that we bring in from other breweries, because they're visiting and they're like, oh, I can get that beer back home. I'm going to try what I can't get, like you were saying, from what's special on the tap wall that you can only get here, right? Like Mustache Rodeo, those types of things. So they don't perform as well, but when we have like our periods of down tourism, and at that same time, when there's less tourism, we have more local business because they're not working necessarily or not as much. And so they come out and hang, and they're like, oh, what's that beer from Stone? Or what's that beer from Firestone? Or, whatever. And you see a lot more pull through on those at that time. So it does ebb and flow.
it does. But all right, let's see how much time we have left. Oh, yeah, we still have another minute or so. I'm not ready to stop.
Fill
this shit.
that minute.
Yeah.
It's not about filling the minute. It's more of me leaving the camera to grab that gin and tonic back there.
Yeah.
And so I'll wait.
But
wait.
it's funny. So you talk about the whole LC thing here. Like over in Texas, we have TABC, which is
Familiar.
Yeah, and you know we fund them with our tax dollars type thing. So
Sure.
when the whole thing was going on for the first few months, TABC was coming down on everyone pretty hard. Hey, you got to stay within the rules, yada yada yada. But then when it kept on going on, they are funded by the tax, the taxes. And
Weird
then,
how that works.
And then all of a sudden it was like, hey guys, we're gonna work with you to get back open. We're in this with you.
We're in
guys.
this with you. Yeah.
It was just like
Here they like to say we're in the
you guys
same
are our
canoe.
friends now.
We believe you.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, it's the way that things are funded here a little bit differently. But put it this way: if liquor control is one of the most feared non-governmental organizations, because it really isn't even necessarily a direct arm of the government. So it's a really odd place.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of nepotism, a lot of inheriting the director positions, those types of things. So, it is what it is. But, every place has a horrible story about liquor, which leads me to believe that every state would benefit from full liquor reform, because we're still working off of prohibition-era laws.
Absolutely, yeah.
Well, the crazy thing, Texas at least, they're like, okay, we'll allow you now to continue to deliver beer and alcohol from your restaurants and stuff like that. You can sell it to go.
My favorite thing about Texas, though, was, and I think it's changing in next September, is the beer versus ale. Beer versus ale.
Beer versus
right?
ale.
So, like, we have Bikini Blonde Lager. We had to put in our cans before it said ale in Texas. Mm-hmm. And I was like, but it's not an ale. It's a lager. They're like, no, it doesn't matter.
It's
but in Texas, it's a lager.
Semantics.
So, or in Texas, it's an ale. So, it's like, you could say lager, but it has to say ale in Texas because it was 5.1% ABV or higher. And so we ended up lowering it to 4.8% recently, because we finally just figured let's just pay the extra $3,000 for that license just to sell that beer.
Like
in
I said,
Texas.
money fixes everything, right?
Right? It's crazy.
So, it is.
But that Texas is a big market.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
It is big. Let's take a break. Listen to some more
Kekai.
Yep, let's listen to him play some good traditional Hawaiian music.
Yeah.
Also, guys, this beer is delicious.
Yeah,
That beer is
it is. Yeah, I was like, we hadn't talked about beer yet. Shit.
We are at Maui Brewing Company, and we're going to get through one more segment, mostly sober, I
Yes,
feel.
I think we can do it.
All right. this
So we
is
start
Drink
popping
Ages.
cans.
Negative.
We'll be right back.
Hele alina I hale akala I luna o kaweku I laila e pamai kamakani Hele alina I hale akala I luna o kaweku I laila e pamai kamakani Loa kuna nai kula a ia lai po a ia I ke alahanu hea o ka noe I a nama ki arahe I ka uka iluhi Aloha ina o Maui no ka oi kapuana no ka holo aloha mai I hale akala e kukila kila nei I hale akala e kukila kila nei I hale akala e kukila kila nei
Hi, this is Casey from Your Cat's Brewing Company. We're going to take a break from John talking to you about beer for me to talk to you about beer. It's pretty much the same, except my beard isn't nearly as awesome. Here at Your Cat's Brewing Company, we've been making interesting and approachable craft beer right here in Houston since 2016. That means we're basically old enough to drink in dog years. Brewing up everything from crisp and refreshing Buffalo Bunny Cream Ale to hoppy and tropical Mini Boss IPA, and brand new Un Poquito Mas. Our summer seasonal is a German-style cold brewed with a ton of lime puree and pink Himalayan sea salt. It's a perfect beer for sweating uncontrollably. Look for it all over Houston. Cheers.
You may have noticed there have been quite a few changes at No Label, and they are steadily pumping out tasty brews. With their new head brewer, Trailer, bringing in his West Coast brewing skills, taps have been flowing with lots of hoppy deliciousness like Cali Boy West Coast IPA. I'm real excited about what they're doing on the west side. Tap room is open 7 days a week, very family and dog friendly. Make the short trip to Katy and see what is happening at No Label. Follow them on social media for events and beer releases. No Label Brewing Company. Fresh off the canning line at True Anomaly is Go Flight with 4-packs available now. This is a hazy IPA through and through with loads of soft and juicy tropical fruit flavors contributed from the Mosaic, Citra, and Galaxy hops. If you're heading out to watch the Astros, Rockets, or Dynamo, stop by for a beer before the game. True Anomaly is walking distance from all the stadiums. Don't have a ticket? Come and watch the games in the tap room. Trivia every Tuesday at 7:30 p.m. and DJ Cherry Like Bounce is there Thursdays to help bring in the weekend and get the new beer pouring strong. You can book the barrel room at True Anomaly for your next special event. They can also accommodate business meetings and happy hours. Check out their website for a booking link, trueanomalybrewing.com. Valentin's Brewery is a small but growing family-owned nano brewery in Pearland, Texas, making award-winning beers in all different styles. Always something new to try on tap. Bring the family and the dogs while enjoying the spacious backyard while the new tap room is being built. If you're into the sour stuff, Valentin's is releasing 2 Berliners, a pear and an apple. These beers are like adult Gatorades. Make the short drive to Valentin's and try some award-winning, very tasty brews. Valentins.com, VALLENSONS.com.
Hey, this is Blake Harris, the general manager at Rudyard's British Pub. Just want to invite you guys out to our Thursday night steak and pint night. It's $25 for a 16-ounce New York strip, party potatoes, Caesar salad, and a free pint. As well, starting at 7 o'clock, we've got $4 pints all night long. Right now, we're doing about 20 on draft, and in the near future, we will be increasing that number. So come check us out. We're at 2010 Wall Drive in Montrose.
We are back. This is Drink of Ages Radio Show here on ESPN 97.5. We are hanging out at Maui Brewing Company in Maui.
Yeah,
for
real in Maui.
Fortunately.
Yeah.
It'd be weird. What was it the other day that, we were at Galveston Island Brewery. Yeah, they were on the show, right? Mm-hmm. Fantastic people. And, Garrett Marrero is our guest, if you're just tuning in. But no, it was our
Galveston Island.
Yeah, our friend Charday that was from Galveston Island. She's like, yeah, we went to Hawaii, this and that. And Tom's like, why would you leave an island to go to an island? Yeah. Sounds like you should go to, like, Kansas.
I think I told her, you should go to Kansas or Wyoming.
Yeah. Or Wyoming. Wyoming, there you go.
Because they're on an island, and just like what you're saying, I mean, laws of scale, but and Galveston is still, it's an island that is dominated by tourism, and that's all their business. So these metrics are exactly the same.
Yeah.
I mean, the beach is different, but I was like, but you're going from one island atmosphere going to another island atmosphere. That's like going from, you know, like you're sitting around like, hey, maybe we should go to Tahiti.
So about that, yeah. So Tahiti is a great place to go to vacation. I actually have
don't
vacation
tell me
there
about
from
it.
Hawaii. So same time zone, and it's a 5.5 hour flight from here.
Our vacation to Tahiti got
No-brainer.
canceled this year.
Oh,
It was right
you
when
guys
they
COVID?
shut down the island. Yeah, we were supposed to.
I don't
be
even
there
know
in
if
March.
Tahiti's open yet again.
I don't think they are. They shut down. We were leaving in a couple weeks, and then they shut down the whole island. And
Yeah.
we're like, yep, can't go. So,
Yeah. Oh, bummer.
all right, so you know where we went? Camping in Arkansas.
Almost
Close.
the same.
Yeah, almost the same.
I mean, almost the same. Yeah. Well, cheers. This is our Kupu Spirits is our distillery side of the business. This is our gin and tonic. So 6.8%,
That's refreshing.
super refreshing, all very citrus forward, lemongrass. We make the tonic and we make the gin, and so we marry them together in a ready-to-drink cocktail. So Kupu is our distillery side. You know, we like to think of ourselves as a craft beverage company. So beer at our core, we've been doing that for 16 years. And a few years ago, we launched the canned cocktails under Kupu, and now have released our bottled spirits this past year.
And then you have a partnership with coffee.
And we have a partnership with Origin Coffee to do the cold brew, and we also roast beans. And of course, then we have our Maui Hard Seltzer,
And
which
you also
is
have
its
root
own
beers
brand.
you guys sell.
We do. Root beer and ginger beer. Thank you. Yeah, we have it all. So we have non-alc and alc. But everything, I mean, pretty much, you think about it, visitors coming to Hawaii want to experience something local.
When you guys
so we want to
releasing
have
that
something
hop
for
water?
everybody. Hop water, I don't know if I could do that. It's like, can you imagine how expensive hop water should be? I mean, like, unless you're using
exactly
like,
how much.
yeah.
What it really should cost.
yeah, it's crazy. But yeah, so we like to make a lot of different beverages because we have a lot of different visitors. But we're excited. We have our first aged whiskey release coming out this Saturday. So it's Kupu
Excellent.
whiskey, and we're doing it on World Whiskey Day, doing the launch over in Waikiki. So
Oh, wow.
we're going to jump over there Saturday for that. So, yeah.
Oh, so
An actual bottled whiskey release?
Bottled whiskey, yep.
Do you have
yeah.
any here?
So I could probably find some.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm just throwing it
yeah.
out there.
All right, we're gonna take a break.
We'll be
We're
back
gonna
for
have,
that mysterious
the fourth segment.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm sure I can find one.
That's crazy, though. I mean, there's probably no way, even in the last decade, that you thought you'd be sitting where you are, doing what you're doing.
Decade, yeah. I mean, there's some of it, yes. A decade ago, seltzer didn't exist, but I think definitely was already thinking about distilling. I think all of us, when we're done drinking beer, you might want to have a cocktail at the end of the evening. So, for me, that's always been whiskey or gin. Recently gotten into tequila, but don't really have any ideas to make tequila because can't really make tequila outside of Mexico, outside of Jalisco. So for us, it'd be more agave spirit, but I just don't see something that really. What's the reason? What's the touch point?
Yeah.
So plus, I get to just drink tequila. I don't have to think about how ours is compared to it, and
There's something you can appreciate more. It's like, it's like you love craft beer, you want to get involved in craft beer, but there's certainly some nights where it's like, man, what if I just drank it?
Yeah.
And didn't have to worry about. It's like I have a buddy that he was a film major, and he made a short film and all this stuff, and then he changes. He switched to film criticism, and I was like, what happened? And he's like, what I learned is that I think just watching movies is probably easier than making them.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. Very true. Astute observation, that one.
And so, yeah. But, I mean, look at all this liquid and all these people that you're hitting with, like, all this stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty wild.
Well, and we like to have fun, too. I mean, when you're brewing beer, I mean, it's got to be fun at some point, too, right? So the kind of innovation or the creative side of things is where we get to really express that through the multiple beverages. Some things fit better in one tranche, like ready-to-drink cocktails and spirits don't come from breweries. Those come from distilleries, right? So we had to find that arm for us. Seltzer, to me, is not beer. I don't care what Internal Revenue Code says, and we treat it as beer, but for us, it's seltzer. It's its own animal, and that's why
Sure.
Maui Brewing is not mentioned anywhere on the can. It's a touch point, using the Maui name, of course, but even we don't share a logo, and we wanted it to be separate for those reasons. That's our seltzer line. This is our beer line. That's our coffee, and then here's our distillery, right? So we wanted to have all these different items to be able to share a little bit of Hawaii in different ways with the world. So this is our whiskey ginger that we make, of course, the ginger beer as well. So this is nice and spicy, Big Island ginger with our white whiskey, and it is very tasty.
So good.
So nice and spicy too, which I like.
So what's the so you have your collab like you're doing in Jackson, Wyoming, with
Roadhouse Brewing. Yep.
Roadhouse Brewing.
Yep.
So what's how often are you guys doing collabs?
We do a lot of collabs actually. I'd say usually at least a few times a year. COVID, obviously less. I don't think did any. But
What's the metric? Just we like these guys. And let's do a beer together.
Yeah, and for us it has to be somewhat compelling in terms of not just hey we like these guys, but what's the idea behind the beer? Like, what are we trying to celebrate? Is there an ingredient that's, ties the two together? Is there a brewery that's, their speciality is something very different than ours that can bring that knowledge and layer it onto something that we do really well, or vice versa? So it's just like if you got two, so if Bud and Coors got together to make a collaboration, was they going to make a version of a light lager, right?
The ultimate lager.
What would be exciting about that, right? So for us, it's more about like how can we make something really cool, and we really want the involvement of the breweries. It's not just like call up, talk about a recipe, and then boom, a beer. We really actually invest the time and the money to send people in both directions so that we can be in each other's shoes for a day or more and make something cool.
Are you guys going to package that beer at all?
Pono's in package, yeah. So both the breweries canned it this year.
Okay.
And I think theirs just got packaged as well. So last week when we had the event, we had cans and draft of both of our beers. So it's cool because you can see the way we did them. Our recipes were slightly different, and so the end results, of course, were different. But the
you guys
beers
did
are
it
sisters.
on different ends.
Different ends, yeah.
And different ends.
Yeah,
So-
and we don't
so
always do
different
collabs that
labels?
way. Different labels, yeah, totally different labels.
I like when breweries do it that
Yeah.
way, honestly,
Yeah.
because it gives a perspective. Because each brewery has their own twist.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, they just ingredients, the water, everything's just a little bit
Everything's
different.
just a little bit different. Yeah.
Yeah, I like when breweries brew the exact same beer.
Yeah.
So we're in there's a local brewery, one we just talked about with all the barrels. That No Label we just did. Me and the owner, we went on a double date the other day. Him and his wife, me and my girlfriend, and then we had a spa day. It kind of turned to a sushi night, booze fest, and then it turned to a spa day thing. And then we're talking about hops and boils and how you maintain a consistent hazy beer color, and but by dropping in temperature to this much and raising it up real quick, and we're just having this long thing, and then I was like, shit, we should do a collab. We blah, 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 blah. It's like, well, and he's like, I don't want to do collabs. Collabs are like yada, yada, yada. And it's like, unless we did it and so we're just kind of working on that math. It's like, and he's got a creative flair, and we have a lot of creative people. It's like, well, let's just merge them together. Yeah. Which is like herding cats.
Totally.
But we're trying to if it's going to be collab, it should be collab in the ultimate sense, not just in semantics.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because there's definitely a lot of collabs in name only, I feel go out there in the world.
Yeah.
But
you can see it's more of the marketing department than it was actually brewing.
Right, but you guys are having your teams go back and forth, and everyone's doing their own take. And it's very bad.
We have one with Boochcraft. This is a hard kombucha company out of San Diego, and we're brewing. I guess both of us brew, but it's on their side, so it's going to be an actual kombucha, but inspired by using some of the ingredients that we were known for, like coconut. But it's a coconut, and we used local mamaki, so it's a type of tea from Hawaii, along with their normal black tea blend that they use, and then we added Szechuan peppercorns and basil. It was really unique. So they wanted to do basil. I was like, we got to do something different. So we had the coconut and the peppercorns. That was the clear winner.
Yeah.
It was really cool. It was fun to play with those. So.
Kombucha is the only thing not on this table. So,
yes. Yeah. One, we don't have any interest in making that, frankly. That's something I think for the kombucha guys do that well.
Yeah.
And I just don't drink a ton of kombucha, but I get excited about the unique ones, but it's just not my thing. It's okay.
I don't know. When you make beer and you look at the whole process of it, it is still nice looking, right? No matter what stage you look at beer, you're like, oh, that's great. That looks good. Kombucha, no. Kombucha looks like somebody vomited in a jar, and then it's not even done yet at that point.
Yeah.
It doesn't.
It's one hell of a pellicle, that's for sure.
Yes. Yeah. And so it's one of those where it's like, man, kombucha. I like it. Like,
Yeah.
I
It's
do
got a
enjoy
lot
some
of
kombucha.
herbal,
But-
properties that this is how people also sell you on Fernet.
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot of medicinal
See, I like
things in the
Fernet.
yeast.
Fernet with the ginger back, though, yeah, all day. I mean, that was when I was cutting my teeth in San Francisco. though.
He likes
That's-
Fernet, John.
yeah.
He's one of them.
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
I hate to admit
That's
it.
what he tell me. It's hipster Jaeger.
Right? No, I do like Fernet. I just like to claim that I don't. I'm the opposite of
Yeah.
the normal. They're like, oh no, I like Fernet. No, I don't.
Oh,
like
the people
it,
that
but
love
then
Fernet, they have like a
Yeah.
bottle
So
right
drink
behind
it.
them, and then all of a sudden
Yeah.
it's like, you guys want to do a shot right now?
Yeah.
Great. It's
never a shot.
Yeah.
That's the thing about Fernet.
Yeah.
It's never like tequila. You break out a good tequila, you sip on it for a little bit or whatever.
Yeah.
But Fernet, it's like, hey, it's all just how you want some Fernet. They're like, yeah. As soon as you're done, you're like, you want some Fernet? I'm like, didn't you just say that?
Yeah. Well, it's like
This-
Fernet, and
this
then
just
like you go
happened?
Pacific Northwest, it's like Underberg, and then you have there's another digestif like that.
But Fernet's like universal. It's
Kilopitch.
like global
Yeah.
around the world.
Yeah.
Like around the world, somewhere there's you.
Yeah. Yeah. Totally. Hey, I like to think it's a good thing.
Yeah, it's not
guess.
bad.
No. So some of my best friends in the world, I got two of them in Houston. Val from Valentin's Brewing Company, and then I have a friend that Steve. He's from Croatia, and both
don't
these guys.
forget about
all
Andy
these guys.
as well.
All these guys
Yeah.
with their Fernet.
Just their
Yeah.
Fernet.
It's very medicinal.
Very medicinal. It's good for the gut, apparently. That's what they say. Big old, steak dinner.
Just throw a little
Why
Fernet
not?
in.
Like, who am I to argue with that? I mean, it seems like science.
It goes back to
'Cause
science.
Somebody told me it was good for my gut.
This whiskey ginger is really good.
Super good, isn't it? Yeah. So all the cocktails are right around 7% alcohol, 6-8 on gin and tonic, and then 7 on all the rest. But we have the whiskey cola as well, and then our seltzers very different. They're super clean, something we pride ourselves on. Very lightly flavored, less than 1 gram of carbs, 0 sugars, 100 calories. So we kind of fill that niche, if you will, in the beverage alcohol market. So, and seltzer, of course, is growing like mad. So that is a big portion of our business. Last year, we would have been down almost 50% in volume had it not been for seltzer, because seltzer came out in January last year, and we produced about 12,000 barrels of seltzer last year. So if it wasn't for that 12,000 barrels, we would have gone from 59,000 barrels in 2019 to about 32,000 barrels. Instead, we were like 44,000 barrels.
Yeah, just
So,
seltzer.
it's a thing. Not everybody has to like it, but it's something we like to
I
do.
honestly don't mind it at all. A lot of
Seltzer and
people-
tequila, man.
Yeah, seltzer.
Tell you.
It's
Yeah.
put a shot of tequila in the seltzer.
I will open a
Yes.
can, take a sip, fill it
and
with tequila.
Fill it with tequila.
Or if I'm being classy that night, I'll
Gin.
put it in a glass.
Oh.
And do the same thing. But I think during COVID, I was down like almost 25 pounds because all I drank was tequila seltzer over the summer. I think there was a period of time where
think
it
that's gonna be
was
a
like a
diet I might have to
Casamigos and seltzer, like a bottle of Casamigos a week. And I don't know if I was eating very much, but there was a lot going on. So yeah,
It's a new diet trend.
yeah, totally. I call the skinny girl margarita, Bethany Frankel thing. So we were joking that's the skinny boy margarita. So you get the citrus one, and then you put the tequila in there, and there you go.
The Texas beer laws being what they are, like we can't technically have a distillery.
Yeah.
Yada yada yada. But we have a distillery right across the street from us,
Perfect,
or within
yeah.
walking distance.
Yeah.
How about that? Like a 2-minute walk.
Yeah.
You get to
So-
rock at it.
Yeah.
This
And
is
hit it,
good.
yeah.
We actually were in Blanco with Andalusia guys. Tommy and God, I can't remember his partner's name. Tommy Irwin. He used to be at Real Ale, and I knew him from way back then. But we brewed in. God, I don't remember if it was a month before COVID or 2 months or the year before COVID actually. But we brewed Imperial Coconut Porter Wash. So it was to make whiskey, but it was all based on the Imperial Coconut Porter recipe here. And we made the wash, distilled it into whiskey, and then they've barreled some on their side, and then we barreled some on our side. So they actually shipped out the distillate
Yeah.
to here. So we had, I think they shipped us like 53 gallons or 50
that's
plus
funny.
gallons. So we have it aging in both our facilities so that we can release that at the same time. But it's the same batch of whiskey aged in the same barrels, but
Different places.
several thousand miles apart.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
And totally different climates, obviously.
Yeah, I would say the climates definitely play a role.
Yeah, definitely.
When's that supposed to pop?
We're just tasting it as it ages. Just every few months we'll pull out a sample.
We can
and
come
try
back in like 2 weeks.
Yeah,
If it's going to be ready.
It won't be ready in 2 weeks. I don't remember when it went to barrel, but I mean last year's fuzzy in terms of what happened in what month. But I know we'll over the next couple of years do a release of that.
Well, we could cover the release on our end.
Yeah, true. Yeah, we'll go out to Andalusia and get some whiskey cocktails and check out some of the stuff they're doing. Have you been out there, Blanco? Really cool spot.
Yeah, I've been to Blanco,
Yeah.
but never been out to the.
Yeah, it's a great spot. Andalusia makes. They do all the cocktails too, so like you can't. It's not just sipping the whiskey. They make cocktails with it because otherwise you're way out that way, and if you're just drinking whiskey, you should probably have some mixers.
You're camping somewhere.
Yeah. So, but beautiful place and really small operation, but they're making some cool stuff out there. So, yeah.
No, this has all been really good.
Yeah.
Well,
it's been great to have you guys for sure.
I'm out of ice.
You're out of ice? Well, that happens here in
Correct.
Hawaii.
I know.
As warm as it gets.
Well, we are from Houston, so
yeah.
The good thing is that we're not sitting here all covered in sweat. If we were
That's
in Houston,
because of the shade.
We would be.
Yeah, I mean Houston, 82 degrees is 100, but
because of the humidity.
Yeah, that we're in that Gulf swell of a toilet.
Yeah.
But the thing is, when it's 110, it's actually 130.
Oh, no, thank you. No, thank you. I don't do well in the heat. I end up, I end
a good
up
time to go
super
Wyoming.
sweaty. Great, yeah. So that's why I'm thinking the fall instead of the summer to get down there.
That'd be a good time to go down there for
Yeah.
sure.
Before it gets like freezing cold, because it gets pretty cold down there too. I mean, compared to here.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
you're right.
you gotta, it's all relative.
It is all relative.
It's really like July 4th to like Labor Day is kind of is your super heat zone, and then anytime after that, like it just drops. But then right about kind of like Christmas till February 1,
Yeah.
like
St.
Valentine's
Patrick's
Day,
Day.
then it's like,
Yeah.
and all of a sudden it's like,
never know.
super cold. It's like, yeah, you take it where you can go.
Yeah.
But there's not many places in the world that you can go snowboarding and then go surfing all in the same day. And Maui is one of them.
Maui's one of them. Yeah. Well, Hawaii, not so much Maui,
Or
because
Hawaii,
snowboard up there
yeah.
would be hard. We do get snow up Haleakala, but over on Big Island you can snowboard and then go straight down the mountain and go surf, and you will go from cold to board shorts.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing.
That's wild.
Yeah,
It is. It's an amazing
Yeah, that's
place.
insane.
Yeah.
I don't know why people enjoy coming here. One day this is going to be a very popular tourist destination.
Yeah, I can feel it.
And
I feel
it's-
it.
If
Yeah.
I was going to make a list, I'd put this in the top 10 best in the world beaches.
Yeah, absolutely.
Wow.
I think we win that every year.
Well,
Actually,
well,
I think
John,
you
I'm glad that ESPN and us can finally bring a light to to the situation here.
to the
in
lesser
Maui.
developed tourism communities of Hawaii,
Here to spread the word about this. How do you say it again? Hawaii?
Hawaii.
Hawaii?
Hawaii.
Hawaii.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
if you say so.
No, but Garrett, man, appreciate you, buddy.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's been a whole
great to
lot of
hang with
fun.
you guys for sure. I'll have to see
Yeah.
you when I'm in Houston.
Definitely. Just let us know when you're coming down, man. We'll take care of you. And there's any place you want to go, man. We just go bounce around breweries. And
Nice.
The good thing about Houston is that you eat a lot.
Yes, you do. I remember last time I was there, I felt like I did nothing but eat meat for at least a week. Yeah.
Yeah, that's for me for like the last 40 some odd years.
Yeah.
We got some good friends, business partners with them that they're Vietnamese. They have a Texas barbecue place. It is the ultimate culture smash.
Oh, is it good? I was going to say, I hope they smash the culture. Yeah.
The best,
'Cause-
my favorite ribs I've ever eaten,
Oh, really?
by far.
Blood
wow.
Brothers Barbecue. They've been Bon Appetit and then written up all sorts. But these are like Houston for food. It's like that like everywhere. You can
Yeah.
find like because Houston is so diverse. And on food, like you see that smash, and breweries, it's starting to go that direction, but definitely on food, it's already there. Where
Yeah. Well, I think, every time, people talk about Houston in sometimes a negative way because they don't know it. Well, you know what I mean? Like from a food perspective, I've talked to people and they're like, oh, Houston, there's no good food. I was like, no, it's like amazing. Like you obviously haven't been recently, and I think the last time I was in Houston was probably 4 years ago. So it's been a minute, but and I'm sure over in the last few years, even things have changed
Well, there's
dramatically.
always like the best place to eat something. Apparently, the best place to eat like Chinese food is in Canada. Yeah,
Oh, really?
I've been told.
Yeah.
Apparently, all these different places. But you will
Well,
find
best Mexican foods in San Diego. We all know that. So.
We might have to end the show right now, but
I knew you were going to say
I
that.
know. San Diego does have good Mexican food.
They do have great Mexican food.
But,
I grew up in San Diego.
And I will say this.
Our head brewer's from San Diego.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, he used to work at South Park and Carl Strauss.
Oh, cool.
Now he's
Chris
over here.
Kramer's here right now. From his owner, Carl Strauss. His
Yeah.
birthday was last Thursday. Well, a week ago. So he actually leaves today, I think. But,
Oh, okay.
yeah. He was here on Tuesday last week for the launch of the Pono Life. So, and then Grant from Urge and Mason Ale Works, he's here, just left actually. Greg Cook lives Hana. Like last week we had like brewers from everywhere. It was crazy. Yeah.
Man.
And now this week you guys.
Greg lives in Hana.
Yeah. Yeah, I flew up on Monday last week and picked him up with Colby. Colby's the owner of Roadhouse. So we brought Greg down here so we could hang out for a couple days and do events and just hang out, really.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. So you had 3 CEOs of breweries in the plane and you'd go into a beer event.
That's awesome. Well, one thing, like Maui Brewing Company is where we are.
Yep.
But Maui Beer Fest.
Maui Beer Fest, yeah.
Yes.
Usually second weekend in May.
Usually the second weekend of May.
Yeah.
And so hopefully that happens next year.
Yeah, I think 2022 is realistic. Yeah,
Okay.
2021 obviously it would literally be in 2 days.
It would be now.
3 days?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
No, 2 days. Yeah, so it's not happening. Not enough time to plan that.
Well, we're gonna make our own.
Yeah. We kind of did. I mean, look at that table over there, right? You know.
it's
So
good.
yeah.
Yeah. All right, well, let's wrap the show up. Gary, again, man, appreciate you, buddy.
Absolutely. Thanks
you
for
have
having
a
me.
Beautiful spot. What you've done out here is absolutely amazing, and doing what you're doing for the environment and everything else, man, is really super cool.
Doing our part. Yeah.
On top of what you're doing in my liver.
And it's been really a huge pleasure to finally bring awareness to the island of
Yes.
Hawaii.
Hawaii.
Maui.
Yeah.
Well, I don't.
So the
Wait,
W.
there's a couple.
It'll
of them.
catch on.
So the
It'll catch
W,
on.
if it's in the word, is a V.
A V.
Right?
Yeah.
And then the apostrophes are like a pause, right? So Hawaii, right? So you got the I-E.
Well, I hope you guys can.
And
come
then, but
out
if
to
the
it.
W is in the beginning, like Wailea, it's a W.
Yeah.
Wailea. I just can't wait for you guys to try the rest of these and then try to broadcast more.
That'll be the next segment.
Yeah.
If you can
After
find
party.
it online,
Yeah.
it'll be there.
Yeah.
It used to be the fifth segment, and now it's the fourth segment that you
Yeah.
have to go look for it online to find it.
There you go. I like that.
So
Cool.
yeah, appreciate it.
Well, great having you guys. If you need anything while you're here, please don't hesitate to reach out.
Definitely. And Maui Brewing Company, you can find it in Texas. You can find it in
Yep.
Houston. If you haven't tried it, get out there. We didn't really get over the course too much, but look them up.
Yeah.
The IPA, that's what I have in my refrigerator.
Big Swell IPA. Yep.
Yep, got that in the right now. And everything we had out here has just been
Thank
fantastic.
you. Yeah. Appreciate it.
All right.
Aloha.
Aloha. And, man, one thing I want to talk about real quick is a Punks and Pints Fest happening June 26th at Spindle Tap. We're putting this one on Los Carnales, Odoa Rules, Dead Rabbits, The Lockdowns, and Stupid Idiot with some burlesque. And we'll be releasing our collab with Baba Brew House, Oi 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 IPA. So it's going to be a good time. Look for some tickets. Come by. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, Drink of Ages. You can listen to any of the old shows sponsored by No Label Brewing Company. By going to SoundCloud, iTunes, and various other shady places on the internet. And next week, we'll be back at House of Blues, Lone Pint Brewery, and our music guest is The Lockdowns. Everybody be safe. Talk to you next week.
E hoi ka pili e gui po e nane mai e ke aloha e ho'oni po ka ua e hoi ka pili e kui po e nane mai e ke Hele ibe oe no kuiki no lei ala hona ona luai ka poli e ke aloha e hanuli poka ua Hele ibe oe no unuiki no lei ala hona ona luai ka poli e ke aloha e hanuli poka ua Kanehea kekai o ka haku loa Kai ko o haku I pi I ka pali e ke aloha Pulu e pe I ho ka ua Kanehea kekai o ka haku loa Kai ko o haku I pi I ka pali e ke aloha Ue pe I ho ka ua Puhanai mai e kui po e nane e mai e ke aloha e ho'oni po ka ua Puhanai mai e kui po e nane mai e ke aloha e ho'oni po ka ua Shua lai ana lai a e Aloha and a hui ho until we meet again.
John Bargerstock from KT Wellness is back with us. And John, tell us how testosterone replacement therapy can be beneficial for those who need it.
Great question. Well, a lot of guys think that it's just treating an area below the belly button region, but actually what it is treating area from head to toe. There's a lot of, symptoms that can creep up over the years because of the deficiency, but really what it helps is a multitude of things. It helps us with our mental clarity and staying focused throughout the day. It helps us avoid fatigue and be energetic throughout the day. Of course, it helps our libido and performance in the bedroom. There's studies that show it's great for the heart. It has a multitude of benefits, and of course there are risks, but the benefits far outweigh those risks.
So that's what you guys do at KT, though. You can come in, get your numbers tested, and see if you're actually a good candidate for this.
Yep. Actually, we make sure everybody qualifies for treatment before we offer that treatment. We don't just allow anyone to come in off the street and get testosterone therapy. It is a therapy, which means we bring people back to normalized, and I like to use the word optimized levels, not just normalized levels. So if they're deficient, we check their number, we verify that with a blood test. There has to be presence of symptoms, and then we put those two pieces of information and decide whether or not this person is a good candidate for treatment.
Well, that's fantastic, because John and I, we kind of share birthdays. He's one day before, and we just had it. And so we're getting older, and things aren't, it's not quite like
Recovery
it used to
time
be.
is not as quick as it used to be.
No, of course. But no, it's it's something every guy should know their number, where they are now, because with each decade of life, our levels drop anywhere from 10 to 20%. So it's a pretty drastic change, once you hit your late 30s and beyond.
Well, you can find out more information at KeyTWellness.com, and this portion of the show, the Men's Health Minute, is sponsored by KeyT Wellness. Unlock your potential.
Thanks, John, for having me.